Hello everyone, welcome back. We've actually rebranded the channel. Now we're called JFX. I mean, we've rebranded the channel now a lot. But I'm not good at coming up with names, so JFX is the name of the channel. I'm going to go through some breakdowns. A lot of people have been asking me. I've actually had emails on ArtStation and Instagram and stuff about this plane crash shot that I did. Loads of people want to hear about it. Loads of people want to hear about something. So I've decided I'm going to take the channel forward and start talking about some of my projects, going through some things that people want to learn. This video specifically is only going to be a rough breakdown. It's not going to go in detail. Gathering reference. I wanted to do a plane crash, so I took the reference from this particular clip, the Knowing. It's 2009. So here is the reference that I gathered. This is kind of the shot I wanted to create. And there is aspects that I didn't do. For example, like I think this reference shows a lot more detail on like the metal bending close up here on the wing, like little bits kind of scraping off and then popping off, which mine doesn't have. But for when I did the project, I felt it was quite ambitious. Blender, sourced some assets, some 3D assets. I got a photo scan of an airport. And car assets, I don't know why this car is floating. Fences. I made a camera. I animated the camera with the plane. And this is kind of how it started from here. So, something that really sells this shot is the camera animation. So to make it feel quite handheld, what I did was I went into the animation for the camera and actually added some noise. Oh, here's a little render view. Hang on. Yeah, so I actually added some noise to the X and Y axis and rotation here in Blender. Just added some noise to the camera. That gives it a bit of handheld feeling. So now we've got our camera animation. Then it was time to take things over to Houdini, which is my main tool for this kind of project. So I have a little sync sketch file here. We've got this was the first. I'm pretty sure this was the first pass in Houdini that I'd kind of got down. So this was version 1 of the project. And, you know, to be fair, it's at a pretty strong start, I think. There's a lot of little things that needed changed. I always take notes here, so ground dust. I didn't have any interaction with the dust in the ground as the big force of this plane comes in. So I wanted to add some force there. Explosion direction needed to be changed to match the reference. Thicker engine smoke, yeah. The balls of fire I didn't have, like in the reference. There was balls of fire up here. So I had to add them. You know, and these things you kind of just add. So to start with, for this, the actual plane itself, I basically fractured it all, treated it like an RBD. It was an RBD simulation, but I had it switched at one point, so I had some constraints that switched. So I had the constraints that hold the pieces together for the RBD simulation. I had some that would switch at a certain point. So this is the plane animated here, and about here the plane is simulated. So now it takes over from the animation and turns it into a simulation about somewhere here. In fact, I'm pretty sure so here I'm pretty sure the body of the plane is actually still just animated, and it's only this wing that's being simulated at this point until this happens. And then It drags along, and that's just ripping open the RBD simulation on the plane, which was actually pretty simple. The metal bending, you just have quite a few RBD pieces, and as long as everything's named properly and stuff, the newer versions of Houdini does metal bending pretty straightforward. I can go into a video on that alone if you want. Just let me know. And then it's just some basic explosions and some fire. What was a bit trickier was the ground dust. So like in this one, where the ground starts kicking up with dust. This was a little bit trickier. So I created an attribute transfer on a ground plane, so that when the plane was coming to a certain distance to the ground, it would then create an area that would generate dust. This dust, which is just a pyro simulation. And then I'd also instance the velocity of the plane onto the ground, so I could kind of get the interaction of the plane with the ground dust. But yeah, that's kind of the main things here. I've got the little balls of smoke and stuff, using all the Houdini pyro tools, the new Houdini pyro tools. I say new, I mean they were new at the time when I did this. The newer ones, the older ones were a bit, you had to do a bit more to get different results, but the newer ones made this quite quick to do. Getting this shape was quite a bit of a challenge, but I figured it all out eventually. It's really just eyeballing it and seeing what looks good. But this shot, it wasn't too challenging actually. I'm pretty sure, so these flames down here, these are actually, oh, it crashed. That's another project I'm working on. I'm pretty sure this is Axiom, which is like it's a plugin for Houdini. It does like GPU accelerated pyro stuff. In fact, this might be Axiom as well. No, I'm pretty sure it's just this file that I did as Axiom, as an Axiom solver. But for the most part, it's actually pretty straightforward shot when you break it down. RBD simulation on the plane, some basic pyro simulations. The ground dust a bit more challenging, but all the elements layered up make a huge difference. I would say if I did it again, definitely trying to get this close-up shot here of like the little panels like flying off and stuff would have been quite nice. I don't know why Houdini's doing this. But yeah, that is pretty much the breakdown of this. So I will end the video here, and I might do more in-depth videos if you want. Goodbye.